Mysterious skin. Oh, this one's gonna hurt. So I have to give you guys a trigger warning right out the gate. Okay, this film deals heavily with the subject of sexual abuse, especially against children. So if you guys can't handle that, please go away. You don't need to hear me talk about that. But with that being said, I still won't talk too much about it because who wants to? There aren't going to be any spoilers involved either. So, set in the 80s and 90s, Mysterious Skin is a coming-of-age story about two 8-year-old boys, Neil and Brian. They don't know each other, they live almost completely separate lives, but the one thing they share is that they both experienced a strange event as children that traumatized them. Brian is a shy little introvert who suffers a blackout. He becomes convinced that aliens abducted him as a child and experimented on him. As a result, he becomes very emotionally confused, keeps bleeding out of his nose, and constantly wets the bed. But Neil is the complete opposite to Brian. He was groomed and sexually abused by his Little League coach. But because Neil was homosexual and fancied the coach, he never associated that sexual abuse with trauma. He developed a Stockholm-like fixation with his coach, and as a result, he became obsessed with sex and sexually abused other kids his own age, thinking he was actually doing them a favor. So, skip to his late teens, he's now having copious unprotected sex with various gay men because now he's a prostitute. It's not good, guys, and I know this whole story sounds very peculiar, especially when you include the whole alien abduction element, but I assure you, it's handled a lot better than you think. So when it comes to the performances, guys, I challenge you to find the one bad performance in this whole film. A load of the actors are stripping completely naked, saying some horrible things, doing horrible things. It's very unpleasant, and it's very brave of them to display themselves like this. On top of that, yes, children are in this film doing some not so nice things, and I'm saying it now, even though I'm sure those kids were very much protected, I wouldn't let my kid star in a film like this. The kids did a fantastic job. It's very heartbreaking seeing what they go through. It's tough to take. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt? Jesus fucking Christ, if this isn't his best performance, I don't know what is. He perfectly brings Neil to life, this drug-taking, self-destructive, sexual deviant.
There's a porno in the VCR if you want to jack off.
Thanks.
And yet somehow he shows those subtle layers that are lying underneath all of this. He has this almost big brother-like persona by the end of the film.
Well, come here, come on in, collect your prize. Thank you so much. You're welcome. What? When kids do good, you gotta reward them.
It's all fascinating to me. Another choice that was made in this film that I think is so peculiar is that it doesn't glorify the truth. There's no catharsis when we learn certain things in this film. There's no therapeutic nature to discovering yourself or fighting your inner demons. It's just like the actual subject of sexual abuse itself. There is an extreme lack of closure, and it's remarkably painful. And strangely enough, the cinematography excels that. You see, in most films, color is usually synonymous with hope, but not here. Mysterious Skin's color scheme actually deceives you and lures you into a false sense of security, just like the children in this film. The most painful and traumatizing scenes in this film are usually very colorful, and as a result, it kind of makes color kind of triggering for me when watching this film. I mean, even when I open up the Blu-ray and I look at the disc, I feel uncomfortable. The cinematography also has this obsession with close-ups on eyes, so you can truly see what the characters are thinking without them expressing out loud with monologues. Just zoom into the eyes and you can figure it all out for yourselves, and it's just agonizing. I don't know if I'm reading too much into this, but because our two leads have completely different eye colors, I think that's the cinematography trying to tell us that, although slightly connected, these two characters are just worlds apart with the way they deal with their past. And I think that's fascinating, whether I've got that right or wrong. Now, even though this film is goddamn close to being a masterpiece, there are some problems I have with it that stop me from seeing it in that light. First of all, some of the reveals in this film are just way too obvious, okay? Literally just by reading the back of the DVD case about a decade ago, I instantly predicted what was going to happen at the end. And I'm pretty sure you guys have guessed it too when I explained the very strange plot. I just wish it was a bit more of a shock. Also, the film just rushes way too much. This is one of those films where sometimes, in about 5 minutes, you'll get 5+ scenes. It just simply rushes through things characters go through. For example, Neil randomly gets bored of his hometown.
I'm so fucking sick of this stinky little butt crack of a town!
And just moves to New York. And when he moves there, he randomly starts a job, then quits the job, then he talks to people, and then goes back to being a prostitute again. I don't know. I know the whole point of him moving to New York was to separate him from Brian for a while. Still, they could have found a different way of doing it. But still, those issues are small compared to what we get. There's hardly any film on Earth that moves me like Mysterious Skin. The ending is just so relentlessly powerful. The final lines of dialogue have echoed in my mind ever since I first saw this about 10 years ago, and every time I see it, when the credits come up, I never interrupt them. I always sit there soaking in the music, reflecting on what I've just seen, and I never know how to turn it off and then just continue the rest of my day. It's dark and brave as hell. I cannot imagine the strength it took to make this film, especially involving the child actors. It has a seriously unique lens on such a terrible, taboo subject matter. But I think it did it in the most beautiful way that it could. It's goddamn close to being a masterpiece in my eyes, but it's not quite there. So I'm gonna give Mysterious Skin a 9.5 out of 10. If you can handle the subject matter, please give it a try, guys. This is filmmaking to me. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay jiggy. The Badger appreciates you.